the announcement they were coming into the SEC, and certainly that's great for our league. I think it's great for the University of Texas, and that was 7 years removed, and I said it a year ago, I got great fond memories of the University of Texas and my time there, and just incredible people. It's a great university and great athletic department, great leadership, but I've got so many, I've got a job to do. Rodney will do his job, I can guarantee that, and it's a game. We got to play, and the fact is they'll be in this league from here on out, and so it's time. Like I said, last year going there was a little bit different. Obviously, the first time I'd been back in the arena, but looking back at that game, they really, I thought, played very hard, physical. We had a hard time in a lot of different areas. Had a chance to maybe tie the game, win it at the end, but didn't make the shot. And we expect a hard game again today because I know how those guys are going to have them ready to play.
What impresses you about Texas?
Well, they're not going to beat themselves. They're definitely not going to beat themselves. They're defensively, they know exactly what they want to get done. Offensively, they've got guys that I think they're going to look to try to take advantage of mismatches and do those type things. But well coached. I mean, Rodney, Terry, and obviously Chris Ogden, who was here with me, and the rest of that staff, they worked through the situation there, and I think they've done a terrific job. And I think now you're seeing a little bit more tweaking where, since Rodney has become the coach, that he's starting to add some things here or there that suits his personality, which you would expect. He's experienced. He did a great job at Fresno State, great job at UTEP. The fact he went back to Texas, both he and Chris Ogden left head coaching positions, I think shows you their respect for that university and how they feel about it, and they really have done a terrific job. And what it could have been a really tough situation, which it was a tough situation, but the way they handled and got the players through it, because I know what they did. They put the players first the way they should have, and those guys have continued to play really hard.
Coach, how did they challenge in the backcourt? Just one of the more gifted offensive backcourt.
They again, certainly, you know, their guards are explosive, can get going quick, get downhill, score at different levels on you, and they're playing. They're going to be aggressive, and they will definitely will put stress on your defense.
Talked about it the other night, Santi going from a guy that everybody attacked as a freshman to now being a real good defender. Just what specific areas has he gotten so much better at?
Well, one, he's in elite cardio shape. I mean, he can play forever, and the fact that on the other end, people take him out and he's having to move the whole time and do things there. But where he's gotten so much better defensively, it just shows you. You know, Coach Knight used to always talk about the mental to the physical is 4-to-1. That's what Santiago is on defense. The mental side of his game is there. I mean, he really understands how to play basketball, and he knows what he has to do to be effective defensively. How he needs to guard guys. He's got elite hands, and he's a high-level competitor. But he thinks the game on both ends, and his mental approach is really terrific.
How rare is a player like that who seems offense, defense, he's always going 110% and still playing 30 minutes a game?
It's hard. I mean, if it were easy, more guys would do it. But to have a standard that you set for yourself and be willing to live to that standard day in and day out, and the grind and embrace the grind, which you have to do every day, is from his point of view, is pretty exceptional, because not everyone can do that, because human nature tells us that some days to slide by, just get by, but to do what he does every day, you've got to hold yourself to a high standard and focus, and he does that.
To say about Rodney to step into the situation that he did and kind of keep this thing going in the right direction? I
think it speaks volumes, because one, he, Rodney was with us for 9 years, and I knew him way back when he was young, and certainly appreciate the way he came up through the basketball ranks, a high school coach and in college. And while he was with us, obviously he did a great job on staff with us with whatever role that he needed to play, he played, and then went to Fresno, did a terrific job there. Actually, had Mike Schwartz with him, and then he went to UTEP, was doing a great job there, but just felt like it was, I think some of the realignment that was going on probably had something to do with the fact, too, that going back to Texas would be the right thing at the right time. But I'm not surprised with the job that he's done. I'm really not, because he he's a basketball guy. He's always been one of those guys that willing to ask questions and talk about things, and what they did to keep the players engaged the way they did. And I think after they won that first game, you saw the respect that the players have for him with the way they treated him after the game. And so I'm not surprised, and he's been around it. He's been around high-level basketball for a long time, and he knows what it takes to get it.
You say he talked to you after that Rice game. What message did you want to get across to him in that conversation?
Well, the big thing was he was in an uncharted situation that very few coaches have been in. And first thing I said, hey, you know what you're doing, be yourself, but, until the situation's resolved, you're going to have to go about it in a little bit different way. And just make sure you're thinking most of all about the players, because the staff's going to be fine. And I said, and once the situation's resolved, now it's going to shift into another level that you're going to have to go to, and that's where you're going to have to really be comfortable with the team and what you want to do, and that's where you got to be willing to make the changes you need to make, and he's done that in his own subtle way. He is slowly doing some things that I know that he's certainly comfortable with.
Coach Julian, as a freshman, you see the plays where he goes 0 for 6 the other night. Do you worry about that lingering, or can he flush it to the ball?
I think he'll flush it. I do think that he was over pressing the other night. I do think that, but Julian's going to work, and he's going to come back, and he'll get it out of the system. And again, I just thought he was really pressing the other night.
Going back to that game last year, what did you guys kind of learn from that? That last year's team. I mean, that was kind of a turning point for you guys. What they kind of learned from that loss? Well,
the biggest turning point from that game a year ago was Kennedy Chandler. That was the game that I thought, because you go back, we didn't play him the last 5 or 6 minutes of the game, and we made a good surge to get back and give ourselves a chance to win the game. And that was the game that I thought turned him around more than anybody. And it was a game where, really, if you look at it and go back and watch it, I thought they pretty much dominated it. But we fought back. We did, and we're going to have that mentality tomorrow.
Coach, is Tobey almost what reason forcing you to find a way to give him minutes?
Yeah, I think if he continues to do the things that we're asking him to do, yeah, because he does give us a real physicality in a way that we don't have, and he's getting better offensively. He's not even getting started what he can be, but we have confidence in him. We know that he's going to go in and he's going to compete.
Why's the defense been so dominant this season out there? It was good last year and pretty much the same course back. Why is it so much different this year? Well,
one, I like older guys coming back, and then the fact that we've got 3, 4 guys who we feel can really guard the ball, and guys that understand how to fix some things. We talked about fix-it guys. We've got some of those guys, obviously more of those guys than we had a year ago, but it's the fact that we're older and we know that we needed to get better. We were solid. I think we've always been solid defensively, but some years you can be better than others when guys are really willing to buy in and know that we can be really good here, and still got to rebound it better. But overall, I think all the credit goes to the players' mindset that they know that they want to be better than we were a year ago.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Those of you that are staying, ESPN's people are going to come in the same spot.